All right, let's talk about something that happens to you every single day. We're going to pull back the curtain on what really happens to your personal data the moment you go online. Think of this as an investigation into the secret life of your information. Okay, let's dive right in. You know that feeling, right? That super weird, kind of creepy feeling? You're just chatting with a friend about, I don't know, wanting a new pair of shoes, and then bam, suddenly ads for those exact shoes are just everywhere. It's not a coincidence, and we're about to figure out exactly why that happens. So, to really wrap our heads around this, let's compare shopping in a real world store versus online. Think about it. When you walk into a store, the salesperson knows, well, almost nothing about you. They see what you're wearing, they might guess your age, but that's pretty much it. Online, though, it's a whole different universe. Websites see your location, they see your entire search history, they know everything you've ever bought, and they can even get your email. The difference is just massive. All of that information, every click, every search, every single purchase, it all gets woven together to create something called your digital shadow. It's basically a super detailed profile of you that lives entirely online. Now, there's an official kind of technical term for all this data. It's called personally identifiable information, or just PII for short. And this is the key idea we've got to get. PII is literally any piece of info that can be used to point to you, specifically you as a person. But here's the thing that's so wild. No single piece of information has to give you away. It's more like a puzzle. You know, your first name by itself, not that big of a deal. Your town, also not a big deal. But your first name and your town and maybe your age, you start putting those little seemingly harmless pieces together, and all of a sudden it gets way, way easier for companies or even criminals to know exactly who you are. So let's break this down even more. What kinds of data are we actually talking about here? It basically falls into two main buckets. First, you've got direct PII. This is all the really obvious stuff. Your full name, your home address, email, phone number, you got the idea. It's the stuff that is pretty much unique to you, like a passport number. And yeah, even your social media posts or your computer's IP address count, because they can be traced right back to you and only you. Then there's the other bucket, indirect PII. Now, by itself, a piece of this data, like your zip code or your gender, that could apply to millions of people, right? But when you start combining it with other bits and pieces, maybe with just one piece of direct data, it helps paint a much, much clearer picture for anyone who's trying to figure you out. Okay, so we know what data is being collected, but the big question is, how are companies actually using it? And why on earth do they want it so badly? Let's tell a quick story to make this crystal clear. Let's imagine a person named Kai. So one day, Kai posts on social media about visiting an animal shelter. Fun day! A little later, Kai does a quick online search for dog toys. Now, behind the scenes, these super powerful computer programs, algorithms, they connect those two dots. They go, hey, Kai seems to be really into dogs right now. And boom, just like that, Kai's social media feed starts filling up with ads for local pet stores and dog groomers. It all happens automatically, in the blink of an eye. One of the main tools that makes this all possible is something called a cookie. And no, not the delicious chocolate chip kind. In the tech world, a cookie is a tiny little text file that a website saves on your computer or your phone. Now, some of what it does is helpful, like remembering what you put in your shopping cart, but its other big job is to track what you do online to help target ads. You have seen these pop-ups a million times, right? But let's actually read the fine print on one. It says they use cookies for targeted ads and to analyze performance. Okay, but then you get to the really important part. It says they may share personal information about what you do with their advertising, analytics, and business partners. So that's the key right there. When you get annoyed by that little box and just click accept all, what are you really agreeing to? You're not just saying, yeah, make the website work. You are giving that company permission to watch what you do and then share that info with a whole network of other companies. And this brings us to the biggest piece of the puzzle. The reason this all happens is because your data isn't just data. In the digital world, your data has become a product. It's built an entire industry. It's the business of you. It's really that simple. Your data is an incredibly valuable asset that companies can turn directly into cash. It's a currency. Your clicks, your likes, your searches, every single one has a monetary value. In fact, get this, There's an entire multi-billion-dollar industry of companies you've probably never even heard of. They're called data brokers, and their entire business model, their whole job, is to collect personal information from thousands of different places, package it all up nice and neat, and then sell it to other businesses. Let's go back to Kai for a second to see how this plays out. A data broker could pull together a list of thousands of people in Kai's town who've shown they're interested in dogs. Then they turn around and sell that list to a local dog groomer who's looking for new customers. For that groomer, it's amazing. It's a super efficient way to find the exact people who are most likely to want their service. Okay, I know. This can all sound a little intense, maybe even a bit scary. But here is the good news. You are not powerless in this. Not at all. There are absolutely steps you can take to manage your digital shadow and take back some of that control. One of the easiest and most powerful things you can do is switch to a private search engine. Services like DuckDuckGo or Brave Search or SwissCows, they're just built differently. Their entire mission is to give you great search results without building a profile on you and without tracking your every move. And there's more you can do too. You can start being more mindful of those cookie pop-ups. Maybe don't just click accept all every time. Think twice about what you're sharing online. And here's a really interesting twist. Since your data is so valuable, sometimes you can actually choose to share it on your own terms through trusted apps or surveys and earn rewards or even cash for it. So, after all this, we're left with one final, really big question to think about. We know for a fact that your data is a valuable asset in today's world. The question you have to ask yourself is this: who gets to cash in on it?